Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube page. It's Showtime Klein. Today we're going to be doing a walk around of my truck, and then we are also going to be talking about things added to it, as well as reasoning for why I created this YouTube page. So with that, let's get to it. So my vehicle is a Ford 2001 F150 XLT with the extended cab. It has the 5.4 liter Triton V8, 6.5 foot bed with a snug top shell on top, and is currently about 6,500 pounds with the original automatic 330 transmission, and is also four-wheel drive. As stated previously, the motor for this truck is a 5.4 liter Triton V8. Just dropped in, crate motor. Currently only has about 6,000 miles on it. The body itself of the truck has about 199,000, so we're good to go there. As far as the batteries and wiring is considered, we have terminals that have voltmeters built into them, so it'll give you a really good reading of what your battery is sitting at, which is a great thing to have. All the wiring on this truck I've done myself. It's good to do, especially if you need to fix anything while you're out on the trail, and you would know exactly where all the wiring and everything else is going. As far as other upgrades, we have ourselves a 3-level radiator here. So this truck, as far as I've ever driven it, will not get hot. Holds a lot of extra coolant, but it's great when you're on the trails. Also have a K&N air filter here. Keeps the truck running really strong with all that extra air in it. Definitely would recommend one of those. Alright, next up on the list is our front bumper. This one is from a ER Grills off of eBay. It's supposed to be for a 2015-2016 F150, but with some adjustments, well, we made it work for this particular vehicle. Also has the winch attached to it as well. Winch is 13,000 pounds. If you can fit a winch on your vehicle, I highly recommend it. It's always good to be able to self-extricate yourself if you are stuck in that type of situation. And there's plenty of mounts, plenty of other attachments that you can use for winches, where they can virtually get you almost out of every situation, no matter where you are. Also attached to the front of this front bumper is our 30-inch light bar. This is just an aux beam. Also has these smoke black covers on them. They aren't completely acrylic, so the light can actually shine through them if need be. For these, I highly recommend them as well, because they will help to keep your light bar from fading on the clearness. And also, in California, we have to have these guys covered to be technically legal. So, highly recommend those. Also here for our fog lights, we have LEDs. Came with the front bumper, really good to use. Also for our headlights, we have LEDs. I used to run HIDs, halogens, but so far these LEDs have been absolutely fantastic. The turn signals and the headlights are LEDs. They are super bright. The only thing that you have to worry about though with LEDs is that on fog or in dusty conditions, they do get a little bit of glare back, so keep that in mind if you are going to be driving any of those conditions. Alright, we're going to talk a little bit about lights here. Up top we have two 50-inch LED light bars. This one up here is more of a flood pattern. The bottom here is more of a spot pattern. They're both aux beams. They're attached to a Fab Floors roof rack. And then up here on the roof rack we also have some spotlights here as well. These are really great for checking out if you need to see obstacles on your passenger side or driver side. The rack itself right now on top of this truck probably weighs about 90 pounds, so it's got a little bit of weight to it, but they are tough and they are strong. Next thing I want to talk about, and I really highly recommend, is these corner lights over here. These are really amazing. I use these all the time. If you notice, they aren't really facing forward, they're facing more over here at an angle. Reason being is they are really good for if you need to making those left hand or right hand turns. They're very effective for that, you know, because if you think about it, if you have lights mounted right here, those are shining right off right at about a 90-degree angle, and then obviously your headlights and front lights are facing forward, but where sometimes you don't really get a lot of light is like in this area right here. So that's where these guys take over. They work, like I said, very well, and mounting them is pretty easy. You don't need to drill through your hood in order to mount these lights. You can get these mounts right here off of eBay, and it basically just acts as a clamp and clamps right into your hood. There's a couple of Allen head screws that run into the bottom of your hood, and you just run the wiring down in between your panel here and your hood, and then you're all set and good to go. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to be talking about is rock sliders. These we handcrafted out of some box plated steel, 1/8 inch thick, 2.5 inches by 4 inches, and we basically mounted them low enough so that way they could double as a step. So if I need to, I can come up here, step on, grab something from the top of my rack, but they also help protect the bottom of my truck, specifically right here. As you can see, this area got a little beat up. That's because these were not on here. So after I did that, I decided, all right, well, I think it's time for some rock sliders. We also welded these straight to the frame. We didn't want to do bolt-on or anything like that because we all know, I'm sure, welding, unfortunately, is the way to go and for strength. They are in level with the frame as well, so I know if these are rubbing, whatever I'm going over, that my frame is rubbing too, so it gives me an idea whether or not I'm going to high center my truck or not. We are also covered with a dual-color bed liner. So this is a roll-on paint that you use like you would use for your truck bed. It's very tough, and these things obviously take a beating, so that stuff works really well for these. Alright, so next thing we're going to talk about is interior. I have a Samsung tablet I use over here. These are really awesome. If you download, I use a Gaia GPS, and I use that for mapping all the trails and stuff that we go on. Attached right here also to a simple cup holder mount, so it just comes off so I can adjust and figure out where we're going, the trail, surrounding trails, and everything like that. So these are really awesome to have. I really recommend having those. Another mount too is phone mounts. This way, if you need navigation or anything like that, so you just put your mount or your phone right up there, and it mounts right there, and you're good to go. And you don't need to worry about looking down at it or anything like that. Also installed a different stereo over here as well, just because these old F150s, they didn't come with Bluetooth or anything like that. So it's really nice having Bluetooth in these trucks. Specifically, it seems like every time somebody calls me, I'm driving. It's never when I'm sitting at my house doing nothing. Another awesome feature too is I have a kill switch over here. That's a master switch that powers that ER Technologies switch system that you guys saw earlier in the pictures. Those are really awesome for using for all your lights. Each switch is basically a touchscreen, so if I want my front floodlights, I just hit it and it's good to go. I specifically put it on a master switch though, that way I don't accidentally hit the lights while I'm driving. So basically the master switch does have to be engaged in order to enable any of the lights. Up top here, this is a really great idea, is to have these little Walmart accessory sun visor pads that you can put up. You can, like up here I've got like a Sharpie in case I need to edit trails in my map books or anything like that. I carry a tire gauge readily available, and then I also carry my winter mode up here as well. Other stuff, I've got a Vhf radio up top with a magnetic antenna. So those are also really nice to have as well, specifically if you're on the trail, because it's a lot easier to talk on one of these than it is to have a hand talkie or anything else like that. And the range is a lot better as well. Coming down here, we have our got some other little accessories, just good to have, some binoculars, and then also one of those ARB pressure reducer gauges. Those are a really good way for reducing your pressure in your tires if you want to do so, safely without letting too much out. And then also some cup holders, because you can't have enough of those. Another really common question I get: what size tires are you running? So these are Nito Terra Grapplers. These are a 285 75 R16 tire. I believe they are 12.5 inches wide. So these are actually all-terrains. They have been really great tires so far. Like most all-terrains, they don't really hook up well in the sand or in really thick mud. So, that's unfortunately just a problem with any all-terrain tire you get. It's one disadvantage is going with an all-terrain instead of a mud terrain. But all in all, they are quiet, which I really like on the road. Suspension-wise, all the suspension on this truck is completely stock. So the only thing that I actually have added is some Bilstein 5100 shocks to the front and to the rear. As far as the rims, these are just American Racing aluminum rims. They're not beadlocks or anything like that. Just standard American aluminum. Alright, and the next thing we're going to talk about, the rack. So this rack here is an ARB 55 by 72 inch rack. It's made of steel, and also has this wire mesh on top of the rack, as you saw earlier in the pictures, which is really amazing for throwing stuff on there. I can throw anything on there and not have to worry about it falling in between the crossbars on the rack or anything like that. And this rack is super strong. I think altogether, if I had to guess, I think it probably weighs about 60, maybe 70 pounds. So these, I gotta say, are amazing. As far as attachments, on the other side I've got a high lift jack, and then as well as my shovel as well. Set up pretty nicely. They're easy to get to. On the high lift jack, I did have a lock installed on that, just because people like to apparently steal high lift jacks off of trucks. It's happened before, so last thing I want is somebody jacking my high lift jack if I need it. As far as mounting the rack on top of the snug top shelf, pretty much there was basically, I talked to the local shell shop that sells the mounts and stuff for these things. The way you could have gone about it was you install the tracks on top of the shell. Those would be about $130 a piece, I think. And then with mounting and everything like that, it got up to like about $190. Then you bought the crossbars and then the towers and everything like that. So if you would have done it through them, it would have cost me about maybe $600 just in mounts and crossbars and everything alone. So I thought to myself, well, I'm pretty sure I could do that for a little bit cheaper and then just go to the local steel shop and fab something up. So the solution I came up with was I bought these towers from the shell shop, or the shell shop, and basically just bolted that to this plate, and then ran that plate all the way down, and then bolted the rack to the plate. So that itself cost me, I want to say like $30, maybe $36 for the spray paint, with the spray paint. So that ended up being a really good other option, if you will. So far it's not been haven't had any problems with it at all. It's really solid, really sturdy. I've thrown all kinds of stuff up there. The one thing I will say though is make sure you do some research on your shell and the weight capacity of what your shell can hold, because certain shells can only hold a certain amount of weight up top. And then the other thing is if you install those tracks, supposedly it does void the warranty on your shells, so something else to consider when you're looking for these things. Alright, rear bumper. So this rear bumper, just like the bumper up front, was supposed to be made for a 2015-2016 F150, but with a few modifications, I was able to fit it very nicely to the back of my 2001 F-150. Really great bumper. Comes with your recovery mounts right here. One thing about that though is I would, if you have recovery points on your rear bumper, personally I always use the hitch. Reason being is the hitch, if you look at the design, it was designed to be for trailers, so towing thousands and thousands of pounds, versus essentially if you're using these recovery points, you're using what is basically however your bumper is attached to your frame, which is probably not going to be as strong as how this is mounted directly to the frame. So in that case, I always keep this recovery hitch on there. You can just basically put a D-ring or shackle in here and then tow whatever you want. So if you don't have a recovery hitch like this and you have a tow hitch, I would really not recommend you using the tow hitch for vehicle recovery, because you're basically putting all of that stress on that ball, and that's not exactly what those were designed for. And I've seen some serious accidents happen where basically the ball on your trailer hitch will break off and potentially end up hurting and or killing someone. So if you have a hitch receiver, what I'd recommend doing is take out your hitch, take a pin, put your tow strap into the hitch receiver and run the pin through your hitch. Again, I'm not an expert in recovery or anything like that, but from what I have seen, that is the safest way to do it. Coming back to the bumper, I also installed a backup camera right here. Also has backup lights. The backup lights I did not wire into the reverse lights. I didn't really want them to come on every single time I was backing my truck up. So just a personal preference. The bumper also I was able to wire up with these LED license plate lights. These are really bright and really good to have. Plus they're LEDs, so you really don't have to worry about ever changing them very much. Also was able to, with some modifications, install the trailer electrical components. So if I want to hook up a trailer or anything like that, all that stuff's still here and still looks clean and is good to go. Now, coming over here to the other side of the bumper, right over here, we have our electrical connection for if we go to campsites and everything like that. These are really good to have. Basically what I've done is I've taken this electrical connection, taken the cord, run it up into the back of my bed, and it connects to a storage power bank for all my electrical stuff, so I can charge a bunch of different stuff in there. You guys will see that in the clip after this, where I will show you the inside the bed. And this way I don't have to worry about running it in through my window or anything like that. I basically just ran it straight through the bottom of the truck bed. Alright, so one of the final things we're going to talk about here, the truck bed. So, as stated previously, my truck bed's 6.5 feet, so it's actually really nice for sleeping in the back of it because I don't have to lay sideways or anything like that. I'm 5'8", so I can just lay right down in the back of my bed and not have to worry about really hitting too much. As far as the shell itself, I would have liked to have a little bit more headroom, but at the same time, it's like if you make your shell taller, you're also making your vehicle a lot taller. So, something else to kind of think about too. And you have to kind of worry about your vehicle and having a lot of weight up top and then swaying your vehicle because of all that extra weight. Also, right now, I have my air mattress here. I usually just sleep with the comforter, some sheets, a nice soft blanket. I usually stay pretty warm at night. If I need to, I have a little side insulation I put on the sides of the windows. That's really important, especially for cold weather, because I've found out through the past that if you have really cold conditions, 30 degrees or below, cold goes through that glass like there's no tomorrow. It doesn't even feel like the glass is there, so that's really important for staying warm. The other thing I found out is you want to also, if you're in an area like this and it's kind of a little confined, you want to make sure you keep a window open. That way you kind of allow some type of air circulation. Otherwise you'll start getting a lot of moisture, and you don't want that, specifically if you have camera gear and stuff like that. Also, with sleeping in an area like this, I also recommend everybody have a smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector. Just like to keep that, just kind of one of those peace of mind deals. Over here I also have my little storage area, along with my little charging area as well. I've got some camping stuff there, checkers board to keep me busy, a little miniature heater if it gets really cold, LED lantern. Up top I got some cup holders, also have a fire extinguisher just in case, you never know. And I also have a power strip up there as well, so I can charge in my devices and charge them whenever I'm on the travel or on the move, or if I'm back here. I do photography and stuff like that, so it's kind of nice to have that and to charge your phone and what other devices you may have. That power strip also comes back here to this little Goal Zero. These are really cool to have. It's a really good power supply. You basically just charge these things up and they'll last for you for a really long time, just depending on what you're using. They have a attachable solar power panel that you can hook on top of your roof and charge this when you're on the go if you don't have any electricity at all. I also carry another little power supply. This is my jump starter for a use in case for whatever reason my battery dies. I can jump start my battery. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Basically, I ran that cord all the way down as well to here, where that power outlet is on the outside of my bumper. In case I'm in a campsite where there's electricity, I can basically just run an extension cord, tie that into my bumper, and then that'll give me power right in the back of here. And like I said, I don't have to worry about running the power extension cord out through my windows or anything like that, letting cold air in. As you saw earlier, I've got my deck system under here. Really good storage. Chose it mostly because of materials. It's plastic, so when it comes to moisture and heat and stuff like that, I don't have to worry about it corroding or anything like that, or decay or anything, mold specifically. On the back of this truck bed, I also insulated everything, so all the sides of the truck bed, under the bottom right here, everything is all insulated, and it works really well. Another cool little feature here that I made, really good idea for storage if you have a tailgate kind of like this. This is a tailgate storage system. The video or the picture should be in. You should have seen before this video started. I've got a lot of cool stuff in here. Some easy up covers, a little hammock that I'll keep, some tools, stuff like that. Some other little cables as well. Really great idea for storage. Storage is everything, especially when you're camping and traveling, kind of like I'm doing. Biggest thing about this though is I wouldn't recommend putting anything heavy in your tailgate, or specifically in the storage area if you make one, just because it's going to make your tailgate a lot heavier. So everything I put in here is pretty relatively light. Another cool little thing I always recommend everyone to have is to have a little temperature gauge on the inside of your vehicle. It gives me the temperature inside my shell right here, so I know what the temperature is, and then it also gives me the temperature outside. It has a sensor that you mount underneath your truck or wherever you want, and I'll give you the temperature outside. That way you know the temperature differences, which is another good tool to have. And then another little life hack is I put this little strap on my tailgate, so I use it to pull my tailgate closed whenever I crawl in the back of here. And one more little cool thing is up here I've got a mosquito net. So if you camp in an area where there can be mosquitoes or bugs or anything like that, what I do is I basically just pop off these little Velcro straps right here. This falls down and then covers the whole back of my shell. That way I don't have to worry about bugs and stuff getting in the inside of my truck where I'm going to be sleeping. Alright, so that pretty much concludes the walk around of my truck. People always seem to ask the next question is, alright, what are you going to do next to your truck? Well, sky's the limit, but I definitely want to make it as comfortable and as efficient as I can and reliable. So, next thing I'll probably want to do is upgrade the suspension on this. I've added a lot of wheel arrows in the front of this truck, weighs about 600 pounds. So it's a pretty good amount. I'd like to probably do some shock groups up front, probably run some Fox shocks to help distribute the weight a little bit more. Same thing with the rears, upgrade the rear shocks as well. Next thing I'd probably do would be to add a ARB awning over on my driver's side of my truck just for shade and stuff, and then have a drop down shelter that attaches to that. Shower system would be a great idea as well, just so I can take showers and stuff while I'm on the go. Those are always a pleasantry to have sometimes, so that'll probably be next thing as well. Another thing I could probably end up doing is upgrading the lights. Right now I have all aux beam lights on my truck, so I was thinking about maybe spending a little bit extra money, maybe running some rigid lights, do maybe a little comparison, see how they are to the aux beam lights. I do occasionally do some night off-roading, so it's good to have really good lighting on your truck. Another thing I'm going to do probably recently is upgrade the transmission. You know, it's a stock transmission, 330 automatic. Probably going to upgrade it to a 456. That'll help with the weight, I think, and then also with the tires. The tires are 32s, so definitely help with that as well. Next thing I want to add in as well is, why have I created this video? I basically made it starting off that I wanted to kind of just show everybody my truck, and then I started finding out that people are kind of doing things very similar to kind of what I'm doing. People love traveling and stuff like that, and camping out of their vehicles. So hopefully today you guys have learned some cool stuff from my truck build, and if you're building something like that, by all means use some of my ideas. Hopefully they'll help you, and as far as the build and everything goes. Another thing as well is I've developed a passion for traveling. I want to go travel to a bunch of different areas, and I thought to myself, well, if I'm doing a lot of traveling, why don't I include some videos of where I go, and pictures as well, and give some people ideas, places I might go, somebody else may want to go. So I'm going to be doing some videos on my travels and stuff like that, so I hope that you guys will enjoy those as well. Another thing is I off-road this truck as well, so I'm going to be doing videos of truck trails as well, and I hope that by seeing my truck set up, you kind of have an idea of the difficulty of the trail and kind of like where I stand on the trail, and then you can kind of gauge like what your build is and whether or not you can do the truck trail as well or not. Another thing as well is I developed a passion for photography. I've started going some amazing places and have wanted to start taking pictures and stuff like that. You know, and it's been one of the great joys of my life, and that's the main reason, another large reason why I want to go travel and stuff. So the next trip coming up here that I plan on doing is I'm going to go up to Northern California, go to Oregon, Washington, and then down through Idaho, Nevada, and Arizona, hitting hopefully all the major camping spots and then tourist attractions and stuff like that, taking some pictures along the way. I'll include my Instagram right here for you guys. So if you guys like pictures and photography of places, please follow that, and then you guys can enjoy some of those too. I'll probably throw in some pictures at the end of this video as well that you guys will hopefully enjoy. Having said that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, please feel free to let me know. Enjoy just kind of seeing, you know, different ideas and stuff like that. You know, that's actually how a large majority of how I got a lot of my ideas, is going off of YouTube and kind of seeing what direction people were going. And there's some really great ideas. It's pretty amazing this type of stuff people think of when they are doing something similar to this. So I encourage you to keep searching videos and keep getting some great ideas, because they're definitely out there. Like I said, having said that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and hope you guys are all safe on your travels. Don't stop traveling. The world's a beautiful place, and, you know, try and see as much of it as you possibly can.